welcome. My name is Lexi Jong, and here I like to talk about luxury makeup. And today we are going over my March repurchase review. So what I like to do is every month I go through the items that I featured on my channel during that month and whether I would repurchase them again or not after having used them for all this time. So it's like an update. And then if I have any extra favorites and fails, I like to include those at the end, whether they came from this month or not. So let's get started. We are working backwards, and the first thing up is the Surratt Beyond Beige palette. So I did already put it back in my collection, but it's these 4 shades here. And I have a review up on these. I love them. I think they are just a fantastic set of neutrals. When I first saw it, I thought it would be like too warm, so I didn't pick it up initially when the palette was first released. It's an incredibly popular palette and it sells out pretty much every time. It's restocked pretty quickly. But I picked up the individual shades and there's actually a nice mix of warm, neutral, and cool undertones in it. Really enjoying that. I also picked up some new blushes, and I talked about some that I currently use all the time, like the Grisaille, which is perfect contour shade for me. And then over here I used these 2 here, Duchesse and Parfait, both beautiful colors. All of these are things that I would repurchase. As you can tell from my collection, I have quite a few Surratt items. I love their formula. They are one of my all-time favorite brands. And yes, very excited to have these, and they are a definite repurchase. I also tried a couple of other new to me items from Surratt. This is a Prismatique lips in, this is Paillette. And this is really just like a light sheer, sparkly pink. And it's kind of like a gloss lipstick hybrid, more lip balm texture. And I have to say that even with several applications of this throughout the day, I did not feel any grittiness from the glitter. It really just gives a really nice shine. So I really like this. It looks like this particular shade is sold out or potentially discontinued. I don't know. I've seen other shades, but I can't seem to find the same one anymore. I also tried one of the lip liners. So Tendre Baiser, which means tender kiss. Thank you to those of you who gave me the definition on there. This is one of the lip liners. And I thought it might be too warm. It looks like a warm beigey brown, a little bit of like clay tones in there, but it actually pairs beautifully with the prismatic lips. I think this color combination worked perfectly with the Beyond Beige palette. And I have to say the actual lip pencil is very creamy, which a lot of times when you have one of these styles that you twist up, they seem to be a little bit drier. By the way, the pencil does have the end that comes out for sharpening. I have to say that it's really creamy. I really like this. They don't have many colors. I wish they would create more, a wider color selection for these, but both of these items are repurchases. Next up, we also have some of the Chanel Le Ligne liquid eyeliners, and I showcased the four limited edition shades, as well as the 1 permanent shade that I have. And the limited edition shades, they've been around for at least a year now, so I'm expecting them to start kind of going out of stock anytime now. So I really like these. I'm wearing Bronze Doré on the eyes today, and I really like to use these sometimes as liquid eyeshadow or just as eyeliner, but I think the limited edition shades in particular are pretty unique, especially unique for Chanel, and I really enjoyed them. They have a foam tip applicator, and I always end up holding the wrong end, but it's the longer end that has the wand, and then you have a little well here. So I think these are really nice, and I really like the limited edition shades. They are a repurchase for me. I ended up picking up all of these in I think 3 or 4 purchases. So they're definitely something that I would repurchase. And next we have the Coco Brightening Moisture Powder in the pink. This is Brightening Pink. and you can see that it's more white, which is a little bit of a pink swirl. This definitely gives you like a whiter, brighter look to your skin. It works well as a subtle highlight or for all over face brightening. I like to pair this with the blurring beige. This is a repurchase for me. After using this more, you know, it's really hard to pick. I think I probably prefer the blurring beige slightly more than the pink one, but I really like both of them. I like having both. I like being able to mix them. So it's definitely one that I would pick up again. And next we have the Dior Forever Skin Veil Primer. This is a very moisturizing primer. This is basically, it's been a go-to for me since I picked it up because, you know, with winter kind of winding down, my skin's been still a little bit on the drier side. And this is a great moisturizing primer, and it has been compatible with everything I've paired it with, even with matte foundations. So I really have been enjoying this. I have to say, honestly, I think there are only like 2 primers that I truly like, and it's this one and the Surratt Perfectionist primer. So those are really the only 2 primers that are definitely things that I would repurchase again. As a matter of fact, I'm finishing up my 2nd bottle of the Surratt. And this one, I probably won't use it so much during the summer. My skin doesn't need the additional moisture, but it's definitely one that I would use again during the cooler months. And anytime my skin's feeling a little bit dry or sensitive, it just feels really nice to put this on. It feels more like a lotion or a moisturizer than makeup. And I really like this one. The Givenchy Prisme Libre Skin Caring Glow Foundation. I have shade 1N95, and when I reviewed this, I had used it for a while, and you know, I thought it was nice, but just kind of like nice, you know. And the more I've used it, the more I have enjoyed it. So it reminds me a lot of the Chantecaille Future Skin Gel Foundation in the jar. And that's one that you kind of have to build up in a certain way to get coverage. This one will give you a little bit more coverage than that does, in my opinion. I think this one's easier to build up. You don't need as many coats, but it has kind of that same texture, that feeling on the skin. And it really looks very natural, but you do have this enhanced glow on your skin. As for how long wearing it is, I do think that they overstated how long wearing it is. However, you know, when I stipple this on and put on like heavier layers, it does tend to last a bit better than when I kind of use more sheer layers. And I don't know exactly why that is. I don't think it's just that, you know, I'm rubbing it all off with the sheer layers. I'm just rubbing off a little bit with heavier layers, or rather more layers. I still like to do thin layers every time. But, you know, regardless of the reason, I still think it doesn't last the 12 hours that are stated, but you can get about 8 hours or so from this, and it still looks great. I have not had any experience with like any oil breakthrough or anything. Right now, my skin has been in a normal medium type condition. So not too much extra oil, not too dry. So I've actually been really enjoying this, and I think it's going to be one that I wear a lot throughout the summer as well. So the Givenchy then is a repurchase. Next we have the Suqqu 04 palette, and I think this palette is really pretty. These colors though are just only okay on me, so you know, I think it's prettier for me to look at than it is for me to wear, if that makes sense. But I do think that these are the types of pinks that would look really nice on other people. And one of the things I like about this palette is that it has warmer and cooler tones in here. So you can see that this pink here at the bottom, this more plum shade, is going to be cooler in tone than this one here. So you've kind of got both, you know, undertones kind of accounted for there. I personally prefer the cooler one. So I don't really use this pink shade as much. It's a little orangey-ish. So it doesn't really look orangey, I think, on everybody, but with my skin tone, I get more of the orangey look from that one than I do from the others. So I think it's a nice palette. The colors are not for me. Formula-wise, I love it, but this one would not be a repurchase for me personally. Next up, I have used this, but I haven't done a formal review. I will have a formal review next month. I had an issue where I ordered 2 of the new Dior single eyeshadows, and Dior's given me a really hard time getting the one that was broken replaced. So I'm just still waiting on that. It's been about a month now, but I have been using this one, and I did pick up the other 3 shades that are currently available. I haven't tried those yet, but this Poncho shade I really like. So I think it's just like a great brown. It's a neutral brown with warm golden tones to it. So, you know, you don't really see any like gold specks or anything. It's not glittery, but there's a little bit of a golden sheen to it. So I think it's a really beautiful shade. I have been wearing it as a one and done. I've also incorporated it into a few things, just kind of testing out the formula, and I really like it. This one is one of the satin formulas. Can't wait to see the rest of the Dior shadows released. I know Michelle Wong had a video where she swatched all of them, and there were a lot of really, really pretty shades. I am curious to see how well all of the different formulas wear. This one in the satin did wear just fine for me. It seemed very similar to the satin formula inside the Dior Quince. If it's not the same, I'd be surprised. So I'm still testing it, but I will have a formula review on this, you know, during the next month. But I do think that this particular shade in Poncho is definitely a repurchase for me. Next, we have the Suqqu Nuance eyeliner, and this is in the gray shade, and I love this eyeliner. So it's another felt tip, but unlike the Chanel, you know, you've got the well here, so it's gonna come up through here. I haven't had any issues with it like spitting out any extra or anything like this. You can get a very fine line, and you can see that this is a nice medium tone gray. It's slightly cool in tone, but I like how it's like a medium depth of color and not just a charcoal. I feel like it's very spring, and it's actually, you know, very on trend. Gray eyeliner has definitely been making a comeback, and I think the tones of this one are great. When you see this in certain lighting, it's kind of more like that steel blue kind of gray. I think it's beautiful, and this particular product is very easy for me to use. So it's definitely one that I would purchase again. By the way, this is a permanent shade. They do have, you know, limited edition shades periodically, but basically anything like 01, 02, 03 with the lower numbers are going to be permanent, and things when they go into the hundreds, like 101 and 102 and so forth, those are your limited edition for Suqqu, typically. Next, we have the Surratt Brow Pomade, and I've been using the clear one for a very long time, and they have released colors. I have the light brown shade, and I've basically been wearing it every day since I got it. So I love it. I've always loved the Surratt Brow Pomade. I think the tinted colors are great. You know, not much else to say about it. It's definitely something I will repurchase. I like both the tinted and the clear one. So with the clear one, I usually use the Gucci brow pencil with that. And sometimes I do with the tinted, sometimes I don't, but it's just so easy to use and it works so well. So it's definitely a repurchase item. And next we have the Chanel Rouge Coco Blooms. And I just pulled out my 2 favorite shades I've picked up so far. So this is number 118 Radiant, which is more of a rosewood shade. And then I also grabbed 116 Dream. Now, one thing to note, these are a soft formula. They're high shine. You can see, let me just show you how much, can you see from the side here? You know, it's a soft formula, so what that means is, you know, you'll use it up a little bit faster, if that makes sense. So I really like all of the ones that I picked up. I picked up 5. I've gone through some samples. I'm considering picking up some more, but I want to test out the new Guerlain ones that are coming in April. So we'll see how those are. They are a high shine formula. The shine feature only lasts for maybe a couple hours, and the actual pigment on them is very pigmented. You have full color basically in one swipe, but the pigment will stay on your lips provided you allow it to set right. So if you haven't seen it yet, check out my review on those. I go over how to get, you know, the perfect pigment level on there. And I think they're a fantastic, comfortable product. So I really like them. They are a repurchase. And next up, we have La Bouche Rouge. And this is a brand I've been wanting to try for quite a long time. And then I finally took the dive, and this is the highlight shade. So all of the products come in these beautiful metal compacts. I really like the idea of having the refillable, sustainable packaging. The highlight itself, I think, is only okay. It's just not the perfect shade for me. I would like something maybe a little bit more champagne, a little bit less golden, but it's okay. I would not repurchase the highlight though. And then the bronzer, I picked up the blonde shade, which is the lightest. This one is it's just too yellow for me. So I don't like the bronzer. The formula of it, however, is very nice. If they had different tones to it, perhaps I would pick one up. But the bronzer itself, I don't like. So I decided what I'm gonna do is, since these are refillable, I'm gonna take the pan of this out and give it to a friend who has warmer coloring than I do, and she can try it out and see if that works for her. And then I'm just gonna refill the case probably with another eyeshadow palette. The eyeshadow palette I picked up is called Aral, which are purples, but they actually end up looking a little bit more brown, which is interesting. So they look very purple, very plum here. And then when you swatch them, they are a little bit more brown. Let's put these here. You can see how they've got more brownish tones. I just find that interesting, but you know, the palette, I like it. I wouldn't say like I truly love this, you know, and it's best eyeshadow formula ever or anything like that, but I do like it, and I like it enough to purchase another. So the eyeshadow palette is an item I would repurchase. I also picked up some of the La Bouche Rouge brushes. I picked up both of the eyeshadow brushes. I think they're okay. I would not repurchase the eyeshadow brushes, but the face brushes, I really like both of them. This is the highlighter brush and this is the powder brush. And I love both of these. They're very soft. I like this for stippling on foundation or for stippling on powder. Don't really like it quite so much for highlight. I prefer something in a smaller area, but it works really well for blush, powder, foundation. And then this powder brush works great for everything too. It works well for bronzer and blush, powder. And I really like these. So the face brushes I would repurchase. The eyeshadow brushes I would pass. And then also from La Bouche Rouge, I almost forgot, I also picked up a lipstick, and I picked up the nude pink shade, and I like it. So it's very pricey with the packaging. Again, it's refillable, but I would order this again and I would pick up more shades. So I really do like that one. That's a repurchase. Next up, I picked up one of the Givenchy eyeshadow palettes, and I have shade 9.04. I don't really like it. So I think it's okay. Some of the shades are nice, but overall, I just don't think it's worth it. So I don't know. I'm not going to pick up any more of these. I would not repurchase this. And I also picked up some of the Gucci eyeliners and lip liners. I will have these in an update video next week. Again, if there's anything you would like featured in that video, please be sure to let me know. But I do like the formulas for both the eyeliners and the lip liners. We'll go over colors and everything in a little bit more detail then, but they are things that I would repurchase. So those are on the repurchase list. And next up we have the Westman Atelier products. So I picked up the two most recent highlighters. So that would be Brulee and Nectar. And then I also picked up the newest blush in Bichette. And you know, I would repurchase the blush. I like it. It's more fall-like for me, but you know, just because it's got a little bit more of that like brick red tones, which seems to be really popular for spring, but to me it reminds me of fall. So I like the blush. I would pick it up. I'll probably use it more in the fall than I will during the summer. The highlights, you know, I like them, and I would probably still pick them up, but you know, I'm still kind of formulating my mind on these. I will have these in the update video next week, so be sure to check back for there. I'm still kind of deciding how much I like them and whether it's like or love or what, but they are items that I would repurchase. So I like them enough to repurchase them. And then I also tried out some lethal eyeshadows, and I picked up a new Adept Cosmetics palette, and they had been out of stock of these on the website, and you know, I had been inquiring about them, and they were kind enough to send me the empty palette. So thank you so much to Adept for sending me a new palette. But I tried 2 of the lethal shades, and as you can see, I ended up purchasing some more. So I tried Enigma, which is the green one here, I believe, and then this pink shade, which is, I think, Aurora. Let me just double check that. I had them wrong. So I had Aether, which is the green one, and then Enigma, which is this pinky one, and it's like a duochrome shift. Let me show you this. So you can see like pink and blue and purple in there. So it's really like pink with a blue shift. I really, really like these, which is why I ended up picking up more of them. But look at that. So this is Enigma. And I love the Adept palettes in general. I have 3 of the Adept palettes like this. I have a blue, a bright pink, and now this purple. And then I also have one of their other palettes. They're my go-to for magnetic palettes. Really love those. Then I also had a video where Look Fantastic was kind enough to gift me some Chantecaille products. And I actually had pretty much everything already. So they are going to be going into a giveaway that's coming up very soon. So be sure to stay tuned for that. But I was able to get a new lip veil, Rock Rose. And I really like that color, and definitely that's one that I would recommend and repurchase. And another item that I reviewed and really love this month is the Viseart Paris Love Letter palette. And one of the reasons I really like this is not only do you have all of those neutral shades in there, you've got mattes, you've got shimmers, you can kind of create any type of look you want, whether you want something more sophisticated, more like conservative, more daring. You've got a wide variety of options. Now, keep in mind that these more colorful shades are a little bit lighter on the spectrum. You can, use these wet or dry, so you can definitely increase the intensity, but these are not like rich jewel tones. They're still going to be lighter in general. But what I like about these neutral shades in here is that they look like they are, those peachy, warmer shades, but they actually have some really nice neutral undertones in them. So a lot of times these peachier looks end up not looking great on me, and I feel like these are ones that I can wear, and they mix very beautifully with these as well as with other palettes as well. So definitely really like this particular palette, and I would repurchase this. And then we have the Chanel Sublimage L'Essence de Teint foundation, and I think it's a really nice serum foundation. So it is one that I would repurchase again. However, I don't have the best color match. So for that reason, I probably won't pick it up again. But, that's actually my issue with quite a few of Chanel foundations. They just, they work, but they don't work as well as foundation shade matches that I can get with some other brands. So I really like the formula. I really like the brush that it comes with, and I think it wears really well. But I do wish they had a little bit more of an expanded shade range in this product. However, I'm happy that I have it. Technically, it's a repurchase. It's something that I would pick up again. Even after trying it, I would still buy a bottle of this. So it's an expensive foundation. Again, you're getting the brush with it. I do wish that they sold those separately, but I do like the formula on this. So it is a repurchase. And last up for my March reviews, we have 2 of the limited edition Hermes lipsticks. So this one is number 43, Rose Oasis. And then we have 52, Coral Aqua. And I have to say, I have been really loving these. So yeah, I mean, I'm wearing them a lot. So I really like them. If I had to pick one, I think the Coral Aqua is my favorite of the 2. Let me just show you what that one looks like here. So this is Coral Aqua, and you can see that even though it's a coral, it's got pink tones to it. So it works well. And then this is Rose Oasis next to it. I really like both of them. Keep in mind, Rose Oasis, you know, you can actually see here some of the sparkle in the bullet. I haven't had an issue with any grittiness or anything with this. And you can see here that Coral Aqua doesn't really have it. So if you look closely, you'll see a little bit, but definitely not as much as Rose Oasis. Rose Oasis is going to be a little bit more sparkly. You don't really see any sparkle with the Coral Aqua. And I have to say, the sparkle is not super evident on your lips with either of them. So definitely, those are actually ones that I would repurchase. And usually Hermes lipsticks, you know, I think they are nice. I like them, but I don't love them. And these two I really love. And I almost forgot, when I picked up the Hermes lipsticks, I also picked up the Universal Lip Pencil. This is one that you can wind up. It does have the sharpener at the end. And, you know, it's just a clear wax pencil to help keep your lipstick in place. I've been enjoying it. You know, it's no different than any other product like this. At least I haven't noticed any difference, but I like it. I like the packaging. So I don't know if I would repurchase it again or not, because again, I haven't noticed any difference from less expensive options, but I do really like this one. If they made refills for it, I would repurchase a refill for it, but I can't say that I've seen that. And another item that I forgot to mention, I started using this just about a week ago or so, but I've been enjoying this. This is the Chanel Le Beige Healthy Glow Sheer Powder in N50. And I've been using this as a bronzer. It's what I have on today. This was recommended to me by Margaret, and thank you so much. It was a great recommendation. I've really been enjoying this. So this is a repurchase for me. And that's it for all of my March items. Now for some additional favorites, I had a lot of items there. I've been doing a lot of testing, so I don't have a lot to add, but I have been really still gravitating to my Coco Moisture Foundation in 012. And, you know, I've been trying to use up some other things, but I think I'm going to end up using up this first. I'm probably about here or so left in product, but I absolutely love this foundation. It's definitely one that I plan on picking up again. In addition, if you haven't watched my mascara ranking video, my top 3 mascaras in there, I have been using nonstop. They're the ones I've been gravitating to. I've got the Sisley So Stretch mascara. I have this one in brown. I love brown mascaras. This I've been using a ton. The Surratt Noir Lash Tint, the Lancome Lash Idole. I've been using all of those a lot. And I'm still reaching for the Chanel Metal Terracotta, which was limited edition for the spring. And I really enjoy that one. I don't think it's currently available anymore. At least I haven't seen it. And I'm still reaching for the Guerlain Meteorites. I've been using the Pearl Glow a lot, but you know, it is similar on the face to the light ones. And I've been using these a ton. The Sisley blushes are actually from last month, but I've been using those all the time still. They are some of my favorites. Oh my goodness, I forgot to mention the Chanel blushes in the new formula. So anyway, the Chanel blushes in the new formula, I have been enjoying those. You know, I know a lot of people prefer the original over the new one. I do notice some differences. You know, I talked about that in my review. However, it's not to the point where I wouldn't repurchase the new ones for me. So, you know, I like the old ones, but I also like the new ones. So for me, I would repurchase both, and I really enjoy them. So I like those. Still, if I had to pick a blush formula, the new Sisley blushes are my favorite. In the particular formula that, you know, it's more that satin formula we've got, or velvety. It's the rosewood, the coral, the pink peony, and the rosy fuchsia. Those 4 all kind of have the same formula, the same finish. That one's my favorite, hands down right now. So definitely pick those up. Another product I've been reaching for a lot is actually the Kjaer Weis Cream Blush in Blossoming. And I really like this. I want to pick up some more shades in this product. This is just a really beautiful cream blush. I like the formula. I like this metal packaging as well. and they have a couple new shades out that I plan on picking up at some point. I have a ton of stuff I haven't gone through yet. If you've watched my haul video, you know, I definitely have a lot to go through. So those are definitely some things I've been reaching for. For lips, I, as always, reach for my Sisley lip glosses when I want a lip gloss. Number 7 Venus is the one that I use the most. And then I've also been reaching a lot for my Hermes Lip Shine in Poppy. So I love that one. You know, I talked about that a lot last year. I wore it a ton during the summer. I didn't wear it so much during the winter, but now that we are starting to get some spring days in here, I've been wearing it a lot again. And it's just really creamy and comfortable on the lips. It's not the same formula as the lipsticks. It's, you know, it's a lip balm, but I really like it, and it's got a little hint of orange and some sparkle to it. So it's a really pretty shade. I love the orange scent of it as well. I'm obsessed with oranges personally. So not the color of the fruit. So yeah, it's definitely something that I've been reaching for a ton. Another one of my go-to lip products, I feel like a broken record here, but this is the Guerlain, it's actually the Sheer Shine formula in the spring limited edition Pearly Rosewood shade. So this one is number 76, and I'm still loving this and wearing this a ton. And I keep it in my favorite case, which is the Golden Bee. Another face item I've been using a lot is the Merit Complexion Stick. I use the shade in Silk. We'll talk about this in the update video. I am going to be comparing this very soon. I picked up the Jones Road pencils, and I have to say they're a lot smaller than I thought. Haven't really tried these out yet, but I will be comparing these soon. But in the meantime, we'll have this in an update video to talk about how long the product has actually lasted, and you know how quickly you go through the actual product. And as always, another broken record, but the Guerlain Meteorites Pearl Dust palette. This has been my go-to highlight still loving this. It still looks like I've barely used it. If you look at it in person, you can actually see that there are like divot spots, but I need so little of this that, you know, I don't need to use a lot of it. And absolutely loving this. So other than that, like eyeshadow and stuff, you know, I feel like I've been testing something pretty much every day. So I haven't really, you know, worn things other than, you know, things I've been testing. So that's basically it then. I have been very happy with a lot of the items I purchased this month, and I am definitely looking forward to playing with a lot of the items from my haul during the next couple of months, really. So thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope you enjoyed this. I would love to hear what your favorites have been, or any products that didn't work out for you. Please leave those down below in the comments, or DM me on Instagram. I'm at AlexisJong. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up. Consider subscribing if you haven't already, and I will see you very soon. So have a great day and stay safe and healthy.